Hey, good evening. This is Guru here from Bangalore. So today's my topic is how to mount S3 using CLI in Windows EC2 instances. So basically, we know for the Linux instances, just you have to either you can select the AMI, which includes CLI, or you can install the package. Some few commands are there to install the CLI in the EC2 instance, which is in the Linux. But today my topic is I'm going to show you how to mount S3 using CLI in Windows EC2 instances. Okay, so before that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a user and I'm going to provide EC2 access and the S3 bucket access. Okay, so first thing, let's talk about the CLI. The CLI is nothing but uh, uh, Amazon AWS command line interface, which is a unified tool to manage your AWS services with just one tool to download and configure. You can control multiple AWS services from the command line and automate them through the scripting. So if you know CLI commands, definitely it will be very easy to manage the AWS services. So let's talk about ALI, CLI more on. So the AWS CLI introduced a new set of simple file commands for efficient file transfer to and from Amazon S3. So when you use the EC2 instances, Windows EC2, in case if the S3 is already mounted, what you can do is whatever the file which you have documented in the Windows EC2 instances. So when you run the batch file, in turn that copies the folder files directly to the S3 bucket. So so here are the steps how to use CLI using Windows. Okay, first things I'm going to create IAM user and provide the access to create EC2 access and S3 access. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a S3 bucket in the user which I'm going to create, and I will download. I launch the server and I will launch the EC2 instance. Then I'll download the 64-bit CLI. So once it is installed, so what I'll do is I'll configure the CLI in the command prompt. Then I will provide the secret key and access key, and I'll mention the region which I'm going to use as AP South location region, and the output format should be a JSON. So that is depends on you. So but I'm mentioning JSON, and copy this command. For example, AW3 AWS S3, copy the my folder which I am going to create in my EC2 instances, and that should copy to my bucket which is created in the S3 and should be recursive. Like when you run the batch file, whatever the folders contains files, it directly goes into the S3 bucket. So this is what I'm going to show you. Okay, first thing is please log into your console and make sure that you will not log in as a root access user. Just uh, create an admin user because root access is not recommended to use. And always make sure that whenever the root account is created, by going the by navigating to my security credentials and make use of MFA code. Just enable the MFA code and just install the Google Authenticator in your mobile and just scan the QR code so that uh, uh, this will not, I'm going to say, nobody can hack your account. So this is I highly recommended. Okay, so first thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an user, and I will provide him an access for EC2 and S3. So I'm going to create a user called so what I can create as EC2 one. So EC2 user, or we can call it as mount. So we'll call this user as a mount. and I'm going to provide the access to both uh, secret key, one is a programmatical access and the console access. So I'm going to create my own password since I'm doing for the lab. So I'm just customizing the password, and I don't want to give the user must create a new password next sign in. Not an issue. Like I'm doing for the lab. So let's attach the policy directly. Okay. So what I'm going to give is S3 access. Let's give S3 full access since it is just for a demo purpose. And EC2. So EC2, yeah. So let's give EC2 full access and just click on next. And the key you can give name of the whatever the name you prefer. So S3 mount. So review it, and so just I'll download the access key in the store. This thing, okay, and just close it. So this user has been created. Now what I'll do is I will log in as this user, copy this, but sorry, I'll go to the dashboard and I'll copy my link and I'll go back to the new link and paste it. So here EC2, which I was already logged in with a different account. So I'm gonna sign out and let's see, copy the paste it, and now it will ask for the username and the password. So what I'm going to give is, as I mentioned, the mount is the username and the password, which yes. So once you log in, so what I'll do is, since I have full access given to the user, easy to access, so I'm going to create an instance, and I'm going to create in the Mumbai region, which is south. So create a launch an instance, and so this time I'm going to create the Windows EC2 instance. So Linux I'm going to show in the next upcoming video. So you can just refer. I'm going to create the subnet in the AP1 and enable the public IP and none. I'm not joining to any of the domain. Okay. So this is just for the demo purpose. In your organization, definitely you're going to map to the domain. So click on add storage. So storage by default is 30 GB. It depends whatever you want to add more. If you're using GP, if you want an high performance, you can go for IOPS. So and by default the encryption, the root volume is not encrypted. So if you wish, you can encrypt and click on add tags. So this I will call it as name of the instance, mounting S3 mount on Windows Server. So click on next security group, and I'm going to select by default security group. It's your wish. You can create a new security group your wish. And now I'm going to launch the EC2 instance. So let's use the key pair which it's used by me. So that's not an issue. If user wants to create his own key pair, he can do it. Since it's for the lab, so I'm just using my own PEM file which I've already created. So yes. So meantime, what I'll do is I will enable the security. I'll allow the port since we're going to take remote of the system. So let's enable these inbound. So go to the security groups and go to the default and edit the inbound rules. And let's my IP. Okay. So and save the rules. So once that is done, So I think since I was in the same, so the IP remains same since I've not restarted any of the system. So the IP is still the same. So no problem. So yeah. So now what you do is go to the EC2 instances and whether we have to check whether the instance is um, ready for use. So I think the initial stage is happening now. The say status check is it is taking the system check and the instance check. So meantime, what we can do is, yeah, anyhow, let's wait. So copy the IP, public IP, and allow yes, and go to the remote desktop, paste it. Meantime, just wait till it comes and the username will be administrator and get the password. Here I'm going to use my default PEM file and you can use your own PEM file. If user wants his own PEM file, let them use it, not an issue. So just decrypt the password and copy this password, go here, paste it, and you're successfully launching the EC2 instance. So once the EC2 is installed, I'm going to say it is configured. So when you're launching the EC2 successfully, EC2 instance successfully, so what you do is let it load completely, and let's wait for until you get a screen. Okay, so what we do is now, in case if you have it, like whatever the data you kept it in some server, you can copy from there to avoid using the internet. However, let's download since it is a lab. So just go to the google.com. Okay, so this keeps coming. Okay, so what you do is just go to the server manager and guys, since I'm using the T2 tire micro, so the memory is 1 GB, so it may be slow. So just go to the local server and I. So this is not recommended, but since for the lab, I'm just disabling that so that it will not prompt you so unnecessarily. So just go here, and I'm gonna use it CLI. It's AWS CLI. This will not come. So once we close and open the, um, let's allow this one time. So just first one, just install the AWS CLI and the version you can use it for 64-bit. And what you do is, so just click on here and that will prompt you to save it. Yes, always don't run directly. Save the file and just once it downloads, just run the file. It's a simple methods, right? So rather than running directly, then just click on run. So now the installation is in progress. So I'm installing. Yes, install it. Very, very simple concept using CLI, using Windows EC2 instances, and just mount the S3. So, what I'll do meantime, so I will go to my S3, which the user which got full access. So let's create a folder so that we can provide there. So I can say that S3 mount 2020 just create it. So basically nothing is there in the folder. If you see the bucket and just go inside the bucket, so you can see nothing is there in the bucket. Okay, now what you do is, so we can configure CLI. So go to command prompt, and since the CLI is already installed, so just go to the, okay, just see the version of CLI. Okay, you can see the version CLI is this, and let's configure the CLI. Here it will ask for the access key. Yes. No, not downloaded. Okay. Since you need to keep the access key and make it inactive, delete this and create, and let's download, and make sure that always keep your access key and storage secret key carefully, so that anybody can misuse it in case if you, yeah, out. Just see what is the location. So it's hyphen south hyphen one, AP hyphen south hyphen one. Okay, I'm going to save as JSON format. This is done. So what you do now is, so since we have what the folder bucket name we have given, so that you should make sure that you note it down. Go to the S3 bucket. So I'll go to the user. So S3 mount is my bucket name. Okay. So what you do is, so um, I will create the folder which I've created already. The bucket name is mount. Okay. And see, basically this what I've done is, I'll show you, go to your drive, whatever, whether it's a D drive or C drive or whatever. So in this case, I'm going to select the C drive, and I'm going to create a folder called data. So it's your wish, whatever name you can prefer, you can give it. And here what I'm going to do is anything like bitmap, or I'll copy a file from my system. So any file you can copy and just paste it. One, okay. So two files, it's copied. Now what you do is, just, it's very simple. Go to run, take open a notepad, and just copy whatever the name you have given. So here in this case, I'm going to create here as, so don't get confused, AWS S3, copy whatever C drive which I've created a folder called data to my S3 bucket, which is S3 mount 2020 is the name of the bucket. And recursive, whenever you run the back file, it will sync from your system EC2 instance to the S3 bucket. So just save the file as copy.bat. So this you have to run the batch file, okay, and just save it in the desktop. In case you can save it anywhere, so it's your wish. So now the file is saved. So I have kept two files in my data. So just run this. Okay, now go back to your S3 and refresh and go to the, see, this is what, okay, so whatever the file you put, it will run. So say for example, I'll copy all this. Okay, so I'll go back to my instance. I'll go to my drive. I'll go to my PC, C drive, and whatever the folder data, just paste it. So now what you do is just run the batch file. Simple. Okay, now what it does means it will be there, all the files will be there here. One sec. Just refresh it. See, all the files which I have put it in my CLI, it is synced with the S3 folder. Hope guys, you're happy with this. Please subscribe my channel so that I can put all the AWS labs so that it will be useful for you guys. Thank you so much. Be safe and have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching my video. Thank you.